Hi, I'm Trista Polo.
And I'm Heather Lynn.
And this is
All That Ease. Show 41.
Welcome to Show 41.
I'm totally pumped because we're recording in my office.
Yeah, if everybody remembers from last week, we said goodbye to our Stone Ridge recording location.
Yeah.
And now we are here in what might be our new regular location.
Kingston, New York.
Beautiful space.
So nice.
Yeah, I really love what you've done with the place. Tell us a little about this space. Where are we?
So we're in Kingston. We're in my new Reiki office. Beautiful, warm, yellow walls and decorated by myself and my mom. And
your daughter helped too, didn't she?
She sure did.
Yeah.
Dave too. Good energy in here. I share the space with my acupuncturist, Melinda Sanducci. Shout out Dragon Springs Acupuncture, and Grant Freer of Freer Therapeutics.
It's a really nice space. I love the colors, and the energy in here is really awesome.
And one of the things that I really love about the room, too, is there's the 3 windows. It's so much light coming in all the time. The trees are beautiful. We face a park.
Mm-hmm.
What's funny about that is we like to pick cards before our podcast.
We do.
The guidebook for the Goddess Guidance Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue. So I picked my cards, and one of them is Cordelia. She represents going outside. The quote that goes along with the card is, "You have been indoors too long. Go outside and get some fresh air." And what's funny about getting this card is because I'm someone who I need to have the window open. It's hot outside, but I need the window open. When I work in the New Paltz office, I need the window open. Like, I need the outside to come inside. I need lots of windows in a room. I need to feel like every morning I must have, like, the blinds drawn, curtains drawn. Like, I need to feel like outside is inside the house. Which is funny, because it always puts me up against my husband a little bit, because he's always worried about, like, the heat, keep the house cool.
Yeah.
So even at, like, 7 in the morning, he's planning for the peak temperature that's going to come at, like, 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And it's just this always, like, he opens everything, like, halfway, and then I got to go around and open it up all the way. But then sometimes he goes back and around and puts it back down halfway. Yeah. I said this morning, look, at 7 o'clock in the morning, just give me the present, the gift of opening up the windows for Heather, knowing it just starts her day off so nicely, and that she will always be mindful of when it's going to get hot, and she will close them.
I did a retreat called Wizard Training Camp. And
you warrior.
I know. I needed that class. And it was through Peak Potential's amazing class. I'm not going to go into the specifics, but one of the things we did was really connect to nature. And so one of the big things that I learned is there's a lot of magic and a lot of energy stabilization available to you by just reconnecting with nature. Sit on the ground, be part of the world, walk outside in the woods. And I remember I came back from this class. So, of course, I've been entrenched and engrossed in the wizard of things for several days. And so I come back, and my husband and I go on a walk in one of the Wappingers trail areas. This was before rail trail existed. So we just kind of went out into the woods. We liked to bring our dogs. And I remember that I looked at a tree probably 50 feet away. It was beyond where we could get to because it was too woodsy. And I looked at these leaves, and I moved the leaves with my mind. And I will tell you, Russell didn't believe that I had done it. But nothing around it was moving. There was no wind. It was completely still. I told those specific leaves to move, and they moved.
It reminds me, I just saw a trailer for a new movie coming out with Scarlett Johansson and Morgan Freeman. It's some kind of research project or something, but, you know, it goes to the fact or stats that we use like 10% of our brain. What happens if we start using its fullest potential? Well, maybe that was using more than your 10%.
I don't think I could do it today. I was very connected to nature and the earth after that weekend. And it was amazing to be able to see it in real, like kind of see the proof, see it in real life.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm having troubles, I love to write. We've established that clearly. But I will also go out and take a walk.
That's nice.
And that will re-energize me and recharge me as well.
You'll see a new cover photo on my Facebook page. the family and we went to Minnewaska State Park.
Nice.
Just to walk along those rocks and in the stream. It's just so beautiful. And the mountain laurel are all in bloom, but their blossoms are also falling on the stream. And it looked so very Chinese lanterns on the water. It was really pretty. So it was really great. It was a great family time.
We have some great nature to hang out in this area.
We're blessed.
We really are.
Mm-hmm.
Not great in the winter. But in the spring, summer, and fall, we have amazing, amazing places to hang out in the Hudson Valley.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, a lot of people will use the Hudson Valley as part of their leaf peeper tours because it has such beautiful changes in the seasons in the fall.
Mm-hmm. So it reminds me of a little story you were sharing with me about how you were told by a friend that you have like the 4 elements around you and you're one of the 4. And that got me thinking about how most people believe in 4 elements, but like the Chinese believe in 5.
What's the 5th one?
Nettle.
Oh.
Yeah.
So just to be clear about what you're talking about, the 4 elements are earth, wind, fire, and water. Mm-hmm. And I did a little research about them, and when you're thinking in terms of spirituality, you might utilize the principles of those for different things, but you could also have characteristics of those. And I found one site where it talked about the positive and the negative nature of someone who is the element of each of those things. Mm-hmm. And I just loved the yin-yang of it. You know, like that we're not all good. And we can just know right now, just like we know we're all going to die someday, we can just know that we are a yin and yang.
Yeah.
And then there can be good in the bad and bad in the good, and that's what that yin-yang symbol represents. It's very interesting to look at those elements.
And that's true for your horoscope sign, too. There's like the strengths and the weaknesses of being an Aries or Capricorn or whatever. Did you ever get the tip when you were in the job searching mode that when you get that question from the employer,
what's your biggest weakness?
Pick the thing you can turn into a strength?
Yeah.
Totally. I mean, so mine was perfectionist, but that could be a strength because no work will go out poorly.
Mine was workaholic. I mean, how's that for a good weakness for a job interview?
It's great.
You just can't get me to leave. I come in early. I stay late.
I take it home with me. Yeah. Awesome.
Absolutely. And it's true. I wasn't even just saying that for my interview. I'm completely a workaholic. It has become clear to me as I'm working with teams of people now that people don't want to enroll in something that is going to look like a lot of work, where all you ever do is work and you never have any downtime. Yeah, I have a busy schedule because we all know how to fill our time, but I have a busy schedule because I do things I love. Mm-hmm. And when I'm around you, I am relaxed because I take time for self-care and I take time for writing and I take time for myself.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you could see how that would be like the workaholic in you, right?
Yeah.
That life could get away with itself with you if you didn't plan for fun.
Yeah.
I, too, went through the self-growth of not being so perfectionistic about things, and certainly it still comes through, to have more ease in enjoying the things that I do. Because if I'm not enjoying what I'm doing, then what's the point of life?
Yeah. And, you know, I've been asking that question lately, and what I've come to is life is struggle. We have been created and set up to struggle. That's where the lessons are. But I can find ease in the struggle, and I can find peace in the struggle. And I've been working on that a lot in the recent past. So while most people would have said to me in the recent past, how do you get it all done? Oh my God, you're so busy. That's what I would hear all the time. And I used to be proud of that. And now I cringe at that because what must they think of my quality of life and what must my quality of life be? Now my goal is for people to say, wow, you have so much fun. How do you have so much fun and still be at work? And I'm definitely starting to see that shift.
Love it. It reminds me of a TED Talk I heard this morning, the NPR TED Talk radio hour. It's called Champions, and it was so good. And it was about life is short. It is a timeline. There's a start and a finish, right? We talk about your dash. What are you doing with your time? And the motivation of realizing tomorrow's not promised, but also the fortitude it takes to be a champion, but all things that people were doing for fun, not just to make a living. They did it because it was their passion and it was their love, and they had to come over the greatest challenges some people could ever imagine. And it was in that motivation and desire to live life that they became champions in their fields.
I think that's why so many people are becoming wellness coaches, health coaches, life coaches, because they want to feel like they can give back in a huge way, have passion and a love for what they're doing. I just met a woman last night. She's a career counselor, but she has created the coolest business, and I just want to give a shout out to her because it's such a cool business. She is a fertility wellness coach. And so she takes women who are either planning to get pregnant. That's her favorite kind of client because then she can set them up the right way, kind of like wellness versus disease and sickness. But more often right now, it's people who have had challenges, but she comes from a wellness place. Her name is Heather Novak, and she works in Westchester County. Her website is wholehealthfertility.com. She's awesome. She has 2 kids. She's just the most amazing energy. But her passion is to create children that will live beautiful, healthful, well lives because their mom, during pregnancy, gave them the best shot at it.
That's awesome.
And so that says to me that she's really on the right path for herself because I got really lit up just listening to her be lit up about it. Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh, so cool.
Get lit up, right? Then you know someone's really in their center.
Yeah.
Really living their legacy.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I love to see someone living their legacy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what's been lighting you up lately?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm not sure how to answer it. Although I have had some pretty great epiphanies recently. And I guess I'll share.
Your face is saying share.
Well, what's funny is, we pull cards at the beginning, and I pulled some wonderful cards from the Doreen Virtue set. But I also have this really great card set that I got in Beacon. They're called Healing Angel Cards, Loving Guidance from the Angels by Tony Carmine Salerno. And what the box says to do, the rules are...
Rules.
I know, you love the rules. So what the rules say to do is to put your left hand over the box where the cards are and ask a question and then pull a card for the answer. And I do this very often, and I'll tell you the answer is pretty much spot on every time. I think maybe once I'm like, yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me. That doesn't speak to me. But pretty much every time they are dead on. And so the question I asked today is, do I talk about what's been going on for me on the podcast? Because it's going to that vulnerable place that we love to go when it's the other person.
Brene Brown. Yeah.
I love going there when you're vulnerable. So the card that I pulled was courage. And so it says, you have what it takes, just do it. We, your angels, are here to support you. And I even got a card from the Doreen Virtue set. The last card I pulled, which was the 4th card. Normally I only pull 3. The last card I got was Sekhmet, be strong. You're stronger than you think you are, and your strength assures a happy outcome. And if that's not...
Here comes the happy outcome.
The universe telling me to share, I don't know what is.
And what's the name of that goddess?
Sekhmet.
Can you spell that?
Yeah, Sekhmet.
Be fun to know more about her.
Yeah, what's cool about the Goddess Guidance cards is that there's a book. It has some background and history about each of the goddesses.
So I'm so happy you reminded me that there's this book, because even though it was sitting right in front of me, I really wasn't putting it all together. So now I looked her up, and Sekhmet is her name, and this Egyptian sun goddess is a fiery protector who's married to the Egyptian deity Ptah. Her name means strong and mighty. Sekhmet is connected with lions, symbolizing her fiercely protective nature, and sometimes appears with a lion's head and a human woman's body. Call upon Sekhmet to shore up your strength and power. What gets me excited about that is the friend who was sharing with you that you're part of the 4 elements and look all around shared with you that he felt your fire.
He did say that.
Well, voila.
Voila. Look at that. Fire all around. So just to go back to the elements conversation a little bit, my friend that you're talking about, his name is Rahim. I had the really great opportunity to spend the weekend with this group of people that I do an accountability call with every morning. It included my mom, Shelley,